Good morning. Do you know, I'm ill. I'm rough. Do you know what happens? Every time I start a live stream, I just look at my hair and think, what is going on, man? I just walk around every time. But I'm feeling rough as well, man. I think it's because I had such a lack of sleep. And I just got myself so run down in the build-up to that court case that, I just got a sore throat and I feel terrible. But I want to just, I want to give an update on my plans and things I've been trying to arrange and sort since coming out of prison. I have, in my first weeks in prison, there was massive support for me in the signing of petitions of almost up to 1 million people. Just on one of them was 650,000 people, 180,000 on another. And also people financially supported me, hugely. And I've been wanting, and people have been asking me to challenge the media. If you're watching this, give it a share. This is me giving an update on my current situation and my plans and the position I'm now in. Now, I was in prison, obviously, and people were donating money to legally fight for my freedom, which inevitably was successful. In those first 2 weeks of my imprisonment, there was a lot of money donated to me. When I come out of custody, I was a mess anyway. I was in a mess when I come out of custody. But I also was aware that there was a pot of money now that will give me the opportunity to fight back. Now, Ezra, because in the situation I was in, and I wasn't right, I was a mess. You would have seen I was a mess. I'm finally getting back to myself. But Ezra agreed to take over my legal fight from that point on, which would leave me with a pot of money. A pot of money that is in excess. I've got to work out the tax implications, but it's in excess after paying. Do you know, over the last few years, I've spent £300,000 for the police and legal battles. £300,000. That's what I've spent. Now, there is now a pot in excess of a few £100,000 that is going to trigger so many on the media and on the left, and they realise that people are willing to support. So the situation I'm now in is, which I've been doing since I got out of prison, it's been a bit of a struggle, finding representation, finding people that are willing to represent me. I now have a company, a law firm based in the north of England who are going to represent me on certain cases. I met with a barrister yesterday through the help of Ezra again. And just so people can understand what these costs can be. After all the money that was donated into when I went to prison, after taking away the legal fight, I've had solicitors working for me now for 5 months, full time. They're working now to address the Attorney General. They've been working non-stop. Now, the first time when I was in prison, all of those fees were covered by the people who donated. Since I've come out of prison, Ezra Levant has taken over and he has sorted out all my legal costs, which has left me with, after taking out all the legal fees and all the costs, as I said, in excess of a few £100,000. I've got to work out the tax implications with an accountant because they're donations, but they've gone into a limited company. So I've got to work that out. But just so people understand, I've now instructed, I had a meeting yesterday, to fight back. And I think I read all the comments. After Sky News, people want fight back. After Darren Osborne court trial, fight back. The media and politicians and organisations have got away with 10 years worth of lies. You would have seen the MP yesterday. Lies, lies, lies. Lies that I know they cannot defend and will not win an argument on. Whether the judges will side with us will be another story. So I'm now starting, I'll count through in a minute, 5 or 6 lawsuits with the donation money that people get me. So the media, I'm watching what they're attempting to do. I have instructed Sky News, I'm going to be taking you to court. The Times, the Sunday Times, I'm going to be taking you to court. The governor of HMP Onley, I'm going to be taking you to court. At the minute, I've got a list of newspapers. Now, just so people can understand, a few £100,000 is a hell of a lot of money. Unbelievable amount of money. Okay? Unbelievable amount of money. But when you get in legal costs, it will get eaten up. Just so, Katie Hopkins had one of these cases, and unfortunately she lost, and I believe her costs were over £125,000. As I said, Sky News, Sunday Times, the British State over the lies told in the Darren Osborne court trial, which is the Home Office. Cambridgeshire Police, which I've got a date now, I believe, for March, a 4-day trial for the harassment they caused my family. I'm now in a position, thanks to every one of you, who in that first 2 weeks when I was in prison, there was probably in excess of £350,000 donated. £350,000. After all the legal costs, there's still, because Ezra took over, thankfully, Ezra took over and done what was next. Now, I have two separate things. We have that legal case, we have that pot of money that's been donated, which I've come out and I haven't mentioned yet. I've been waiting to get my court trial out of the way, because whatever Ezra didn't raise, we were topping up with the money that's there. And I had all these plans. And until I found lawyers, which I've now found, one of the leading law firms in prison law, leading law firm in defamation. These lies, if I don't do this, some people say, and I was thinking myself, with that money, I could have done so much or do so much. I could build a proper TV studio set. I could finish, there's a bus for sale for £125,000, a proper set-out bus, all of those things. But those people, when they lie about me, they also lie about you. They lie about all of us. The names they give us, the labelling they give us. They have never been challenged on this. Now, if we're successful, this is going to be a long and lengthy process. I've been told it could take up to 2 years. But to start the ball rolling, letters are being sent now to all of these organisations to inform them of our plans. Now, if I don't do this, they will continue to lie. They will continue to print complete false stories and complete made-up stories. And so people, I'm fully aware now, they fear, they are scared. The government, the media are concerned and worried of the huge level of support we are galvanising for a movement. A movement. I've just released information this morning. I've been invited to address American Congress on the issues in Britain with regards to Islam, free speech, the rape jihad that our country has witnessed, all of these things. Now, bet your life that the government, the establishment and the media are going to pull out every stop they can in the coming period to try and absolutely destroy me. Because they realise the support I'm getting. Now, what options do they have left? What options do they have left? There was a story in the Times newspaper this weekend of complete lies. Okay, the Times newspaper ran a story saying I've recently bought a £950,000 house. Complete lie. The house I'm sitting in now, this is just to go through one of their lies. But they're doing this because I'm getting pictures. My friends are sending me pictures all laughing this morning saying, you've got this new house, bruv. Because there's a picture now being circulated that apparently is my house, which is not, yeah, that I bought with money. Yeah? And it's like, I bought, when I come out of prison in 2014, I owned 7 properties that I bought before my activism. Yeah, I had to pay police bills. I sold my properties, and with the remainder of money, I bought a plot of land to start building. I was leaving the political, the commentary scene at that moment because you can't do both. Yeah, you can't be successful and, which I was before my activism, and run a movement. Yeah? I've realised that with the English Defence League, you can't do it. So I was working, and I bought a plot of land for £200,000. So I sold all my houses. My mum and dad financed money because they've paid their mortgage off. They financed and strapped money against their house, which gave me the ability to, with the money I had left over from selling my house, to buy a plot of land, £200,000, to build a house. I then spent 18 months building my own house. Yeah? And this is in 2014. Ezra Levant asked me to work for him. I couldn't work for him. I said, I can't. I'm working, mate. I'm back on the tools. I'm back building. I can't do it. Yeah. So I was working on building a house. It was only when Ezra then, when I finished building my house, and after Christmas, which I was only building it to sell it, to make profit, to make money, and then find the next one, yeah, and do the next build. Because I built one just before I went to jail in an area called Cotton End near Bedford, before the EDL started. So I was getting back into that. And so the lies that they're now telling, with my former assistants, realising how right some people were about certain aspects of my team, but it's just a complete lie that they're telling, yeah. And I can see, and I fully expect this to be ramped up and up and up as they are worried. And when they now know I'm addressing American Congress, I get the opportunity to thank many Americans. I also will be coming to Australia to thank many Australians. All of these things have been in the process, but the point in this really is to give you an update, to let you know. Many people asked me to fight back. Now I'm fighting back. I'm fighting back because in my first weeks of imprisonment, the money that was donated has left a huge pot of money that now probably will get eaten up quickly when you start going into these court proceedings. I've been told if you lose one, it can be £100,000 for their costs. That's not including our costs. But I don't see how I lose them. They're blatant lies. You saw what Sky News done. And the hardest job I've had over the last 2 months, which in fact, again, I thank Ezra for, is liaising with law firms and finding barristers that are willing to take them on, which I've now done. I'm now in a position, finally after getting caught out of the way yesterday, to say, that's what's happening. That's where we're at. Sky News, Sunday Times, you all lied. The evidence is there. And the disgusting thing is, with this, anyone from a working class background, anyone, you simply never be in a position to challenge these things they say about you. Because when you look at the costs, if I hadn't been sent to prison, so thanks for sending me to prison, because I'm now in a position to challenge you. If I hadn't been sent to prison and that massive support didn't come in, I simply could not do it. You simply could not do it. You could not challenge them. But now I can. So I look forward to it. I look forward to the world who's watched my last court trial are going to watch the upcoming court trials to prove all of the lies you've been telling. So yeah, I'm in a position, and so that, and the other thing, to the media, to all the journalists out there, okay? Up until I started working for Rebel Media in 2016, I'd never ever been paid a penny for any of my activism. I was never getting wages, never getting funding, never getting support. As soon as I took a job with Rebel Media, they all said, he's earning this much. I'm better than my job, than any of you journalists. Yeah? And my life's in danger. Many of you are cowards in reporting truths. So I've had, which is going to hurt you again, yeah? Because most of you are journalists, many of you attempt to write books. I've had 2 #1 best-selling books in the last few years. I'm currently writing my next book, which again will be a #1 best-selling book, which I know you don't like, but if I want to take my wife and children on holiday with the proceeds of my book sales, then I will. I will, and I won't apologise for giving my family, because they'll keep making deals out my holiday. The only time, I remember writing it when I was in prison, the only time I truly am relaxed with my family is when I'm out of this country and I'm in different places. So I'm not going to apologise for treating my wife and children to a holiday. And the way you view working class people, and it shows in all of your reports, is that somehow, because we're working class, I should be confined to living in a council house. I should be confined to driving a basic car, and I should be confined to going to Haven holiday. And that's how you view, that's how you portray that we shouldn't have any ambition of success. It's unbelievable. Your arrogance and the way you view working class communities, and it all shows in your reports. Even the report, lager swigging Tommy Robinson supporters, decent men and women. And you know what? If a couple of them wanted to have a beer, so what? The way you try and frame things. And what I'm saying is, expect and prepare yourself, because I'm prepared myself now. They are seeing the level of support that is galvanising. We are on the verge of something very big in this country. and across Europe, there is a political revolution brewing. A revolution on the side of freedom that stands against Islamic fascism and violence. And the Pandora's box is open. You cannot close it. You cannot close it. Now, I want, and I've tried to do, as best I can for 10 years, give a voice to the people who have relied on me, because they will lose their jobs, they will be ostracised, social problems from voicing their concerns. I've tried to give a voice to that. I've took it from the streets of Luton to Oxford University to speak in front of the future leaders of our country, to hopefully plant a seed. I won't change the world or change our country, but I want to plant a seed in the minds of the people that maybe will, and wake them up to issues. That's now going to develop, hopefully, in the coming weeks, to going from Luton Town, on the streets, to Oxford Union, to Washington, Capitol Hill. And I want to make sure all of your voices are heard. I'm going to bring the problems in this country, the problems we face as people, as a nation, as our children's future, on a global scale over the next 6 weeks. And the world is going to talk about this. So I want to say thank you. Any of you people who did donate to free me, not only now have I been freed, and I was worried because I thought these court cases, I think they kept delaying them and kept giving me more, because they know it's further costs. But what they don't realise is there's a big pot of money now waiting for me to go on the offensive, to challenge your lies. So again, if you donated to me, thank you, because I'm in a position to fight back. I feel I sit in a strong position because now I can fight back, thanks to people. But I'm cautious. As I said in my last video, I would never commit suicide, okay, ever. In case that, I saw what happened with that Dr. David Kelly, yeah, over the weapons of mass destruction, found dead in his car. Yeah. I would never commit suicide. I wouldn't take drugs overdose. I don't take drugs. Any of these things. I am concerned, very concerned, because I realise how big this is getting. I realise after standing outside the Old Bailey and watching back those videos, that video of how they rule you was probably the best moment in my life. I let my wife hear that. She'll think it was our wedding day, but it's probably that moment, yeah. It was something else. The feeling, the spirit, the passion in the crowd. There is an electrifying atmosphere on these demonstrations. Not just to free me. I heard from everyone on the demonstrations to free me. Not just the demonstrations, but there's something huge happening with the public. And there's no ideology, even the best funded extremist ideology in the world. There's no police force. The police were great at the demonstration, and the police I sense even a massive change in police attitude now towards us. There's no government that can stop it. You cannot stop it. You can try. You can run whatever attempts, from what I understand, is the amount of money being offered to my ex-employees in order to paint and tell lies about me is ridiculous at the minute. And the offers are flying in. So anything they can find to dig and try and bash me with is what they're attempting to do. But I sit confidently that no one buys your bullshit. Just read the comments. Read the comments on any news article that showed those politicians standing, looking down their noses upon us, and the comments they made. Just read the comments. I sat and read last night. I sat and read Russia Today's comments, the BBC's comments. Just read the comments. No one believes you. The public are not with you. You have been found out. The media have been found out. Your lies have been found out. And I expect for this ability for me to talk to you all to probably disappear as well. I expect them to clamp down, and I am concerned, but I just want to keep people aware of my plans. I have a lot of plans. I have a separate, so people understand, people who signed up to me on tommyrobinson.online, I have a sign-up thing where people sign up and they give a monthly subscription, which now enables me to do the work I do. I've hired three people on board. I've got a new full-time cameraman, an editor, brand new, who are now hired, ready. I was waiting for my court case to go. I've got a team and the monthly donations to that pay for my team. Last week, in the last 2 weeks, I've done 3,500 miles. I didn't think that would be possible, would you? 3,500 miles, yeah, in a car with listening to Kev. Yeah. We've drove absolutely everywhere non-stop for that Soldier X campaign. But for me to have the ability to do those things, for me to have the ability to travel, I've been invited to Prague this Sunday for an event. I don't know if I'll go, but me to have the ability to, even today, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to meet through the I Am Soldier X campaign. I've spoke to so many people in the army. I ended up speaking to someone in the army, and there's a family who have 8 children. Imagine having 8 children. That's hard work, yeah? That must be. I have 3 children. Trying to get them to brush their teeth is hard work. Get them dressed, 8. And one of their daughters, who's young, has a disability. And these family, it must be hard enough. 8 children without a very severely disabled young daughter. And that her life could be changed. And that family's life could be changed with the facility of a state-of-the-art wheelchair. And the ability for me to travel now, which I'm going to do today, I'm going to drive and meet this young girl. And I know the families have been trying to raise money. So her husband, the father's serving for our country. Okay, the mother is a struggling mum with 8 children. Well, I guess she's struggling. She may tell me she's not, but they've been trying to raise money to buy this wheelchair. I think they've got up to £6,000, similar to the wheelchair we got the ex-Navy vet Knox, the legend that he is. But, similar to that, something that would change their life. So I'm going today to travel to meet that girl and hopefully run a campaign to get her an early Christmas present. And I wouldn't be able to do any of these things, or plan these things, or travel the country to meet soldiers, or do any of that without the people who sign up to SonicRobinson.online, who make me in a position. I want to build a new channel and network across Europe, across the world, that will be an alternative news network. I've got so many plans on what I want to do. Okay, and I'm only able to plan those things daily and hire people and travel on the road and hotels and petrol because of the people that sign up to me. So again, if you're one of those people, you've given me the opportunity since I've come out of prison to find myself, get myself right, have time with my family and have recovery time. And I'm fully recovered, and well, I'm not fully. I'm raring to go, and ready to go, and ready to start a fight back. So yeah. What happened to the bus you was going to get on the road? I still have the plans to get the bus on the road. I just, being in limbo because of court, it's just, everything was like, just wait, because I'm going back to prison. So just wait, and then I'll have to get out of prison and make the plans. Now I'm in a position, only since yesterday, or since 2 days ago, that I'm ready to make my plans. And I've been making plans behind the scenes. I've been making plans with other people to plan for what we're going to do over the future, with videos, with campaigns, with all these things, but I haven't been able to really get started on them because I just thought I'm going to jail. So and for me, going to jail could mean I'm not coming out of jail. So I wanted to spend as much time with my family as I could because I generally thought I could be getting sent away or possibly worse. So now, I'm so rough as well. But yeah, so yeah, a special thank you, yeah, and yeah, a new channel is needed. You see InfoWars in America. There needs one in Europe. We need an equivalent in Europe where people know the people there. People know the people there will tell them the truth. But I'm going to have to go because I've got to get myself out and on the road. I want to say a special thank you and just expect an onslaught is coming. An onslaught is coming. I know it is because they've got no other options now and they can see the level of support. Thank you.